What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Sporting Lisbon edition of our FM19 Journeyman save, where today, I believe it's episode 11. Honestly, you can tell I'm wearing the same clothes. I've been recording this like just all day, literally from like 9 a.m. this morning. I think it's now like 3 p.m. because I've done some chores in between when videos were rendering and stuff like that. But all day I've just pretty much been sat here, just recording. My voice, it's getting a bit raspy, a bit sore, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to look forward to having a bit of a rest after this one, because just otherwise quality is going to really dip. But today we're back again with two games, one in the Champions League, one in the league. The Champions League game, we're actually favourites against Bayern Munich. We have got better form. They're higher up in the league though, and I just don't really see how we're favourites. They're so good. Like their squad, yeah, just you can see there, they have lots of players that are very, very good. Actually, I forgot about Germany. We still need to do Germany as well for the Journeyman save. But, yeah, they're very good. Somehow we're favourites. But since we last met, when did we play? It was the Madeira game, right? 3-2 against Madeira. We then drew 1-1 with Salzburg in the Champions League, which, not the worst result in the world. We was 1-0 up and they did equalise, but you want something a little bit better. We did then beat Belenenses 4-0. Reece Nelson with another goal. You know, he's on fire right now. He really is. He really, really is. Sergio got 2 as well, and Tomas got the 4th. And then just a 1-0 against Vizela. Not the most convincing win, but a win nonetheless. So we do go through in the cup, the Taça de Portugal, to the 4th round. We're hopefully pretty confident we can progress. As for today, I'm bringing you the Bayern Munich game and the Academica game, but the game in the league instead. Just because the league's the main focus right now. We are top of the league. Our goal difference is far superior to Porto's, and it sort of strings on to what I was saying last episode, where we need to start picking up 3 points week in, week out. We need to start building a gap, and we've won 5 on the bounce, so yeah, they're very convincing as well for the most part. You know, 6-0, a 3-0, a 3-0, a 3-2, and a 4-0. Pretty convincing 4 out of 5 of those results. So, yeah, hopefully today we can keep building on that and start doing what I said, where we bridge a bit of a gap between us and second place, which gives us a bit of flexibility for things like the Champions League, the groups, the cup, as you know, cup stages as we get later on, quarterfinals, any semi-finals, things like that. Gives us a bit of flexibility to maybe switch around the team, switch our style. I don't really know, but I think it's good to get an early lead in the league, of course. But here are the lineups. We are at home. Volpe in goal, Ortega, Maras, Harwood, Bellis, I think his name is that correct? Bellic? Is it Bellis? Yeah, Bellis. Aaron Buru, Valverde, Correa, Kamara, Brass, Tavares, and Tomas. So no Nelson today, which is a bit of a shame. I'm going to double check why. I can't remember if he's injured or not, in all honesty. For them, it's Lutz in goal, Alaba, who's still there, De Freya, Militao, Kimmich, who's still there, Tolisso, who's still there, Karan, Paulinho, Vlasic, Chiesa, and Hernandez. For a second, I was kind of like, is that Javier Hernandez? But it's not. It's actually a man from Watford. What a crazy scenario that is. A man from Watford has gone to the Bayern Munich. That's pretty crazy, but they are the lineups. They also have Kluivert on the bench, is probably worth mentioning. But we won't worry about that for now. For now, we are just going to check why Nelson's not playing, because my mind's gone blank. He is injured, yeah. I thought so. Full fitness in 2 days, so he does miss out today, unfortunately. But, hey, I mean, we'll just have to try and get on without him. And just hope for the best in a roundabout way. As Bayern Munich come on the attack, Federico Chiesa is through, and we do well to not concede there. As mentioned in the last episode, I have stuck on cautious as for, you know, for our mentality. It's just working pretty well right now, and why not just run with it? Is sort of my roundabout way of thinking about it. I mean, yeah, Champions League-wise, not the best performances from us. Of course, if we do draw today, we would have drawn against every single team. It would be pretty crazy if we drew the first one 2-2, the second one 1-1, and this one 0-0. But I doubt, with these two teams going head-to-head, I doubt neither of us are going to score. More so them not scoring, because although defensively we've been pretty good this year, Kamara, though, bursts forward, wow, he nearly got us off the mark. But yeah, more so them not scoring, as Karan has a free kick, and wow, what a goal that is. As I was probably covering my cam, trying to like, it looked a bit wonky on my monitor, but Timislav Karan has just scored a wonderful free kick. Look at that. No keeper in the world stopping that. No keeper at all is stopping that. No way. So we're 1-0 down, and there we go. The pattern of draws is definitely gone, although we can still draw this game, so that pattern can stay, but the 2-1-0 pattern's going to go, I think. But hopefully, hopefully we can get back into it. This is a good test on how the cautious thing's going to work, because this is the type of team I was considering deploying it against. And it does obviously work against Porto and domestically some of the smaller teams, because we can, I guess, outclass them. But if defenders are doing stuff like that and just giving the ball to Cucho, as he likes to be called, I'm just going to call him Cucho then. If we're doing stuff like that, then obviously teams are going to score. But this is the type of team that I was considering deploying it against, because in a weird way, it's kind of like nicking a result, which is what the cautious thing's kind of targeted at, I think, because it's almost counter-attacking. I'm just going to say counter-attacking. It's kind of counter-attacking football. So I'm kind of, a bit sceptical of it. But we're going to the Europa League, which isn't the best. But at the same time, I kind of expected it. Obviously, it's not over yet. We can still, of course, beat Valencia and stuff in the return legs. Them and Salzburg. If we get 6 points against them, we do stand in a very good spot, as Tavares almost had enough and just put us back in the game. But you can see there, fitness-wise, maybe I do need to start rotating the squad, because these games really are adding up. Like, we play league games, we play Taça de Portugal games, we play League Cup games, we play Champions League games. Like, the Super Cups just before the beginning of the season as well. Like, there's a lot of games here. It's pretty crazy and pretty full on, actually, in the Portuguese system. Like, it opens you up to win a lot of trophies. Yeah, we do have the option to win loads of things. Did we do it last year? No, not really. Another mistake as well. What are you lot doing? Tighten up. Oh, I said no pressure. Fudge, I didn't mean to do that. Corentin Tolisso, has scored. It's another sloppy mistake. He done well to intercept it, and then the Man City man just awful. Chelsea are thumping Juventus. Damn, that's pretty mad. Absolutely thumping them. 4-1. Moscow 4-0 down. At least we're not the only team getting smashed. Man City at comfortably 2-0 up. Barcelona against Mönchengladbach. Some good teams in here, actually. Which obviously is going to happen. It is the Champions League, but I feel like a lot of the top teams have just really solidified themselves as top teams. We're getting close there, but I feel like in Football Manager often you get a lot of smaller teams that also develop quite well. I'm trying to think of like an example. Maybe like, let's say, maybe just for an example, maybe like Salzburg. They are a good side in real life, but they've never really been competitive in the Champions League as far as like the latter stages go, at least not recently, in recent times. But a lot of times in Football Manager, you see teams like them have a lot of they have good youth facilities, so they often have good youth players that they hold on to, and teams like Bayern Munich or Juventus and stuff like that can't maybe don't maintain a good philosophy or a good transfer system. So often the bridge between the top clubs and the bottom clubs goes a bit smaller. So you see teams like Salzburg suddenly in the semi-finals, and you see teams like I'm not too sure what's happened here. You can see on screen I'm now to do window capture. My Streamlabs just crashed halfway through this recording. Now, I didn't have my eye on it, so I don't know how good the footage before this clip is. It did say there were some skipped frames, but I don't know how bad it was. And literally, it just crashed. I've opened it, and it's not opening game capture. Like, the game capture's not... Or has it? Has it sorted itself out? Let's have a look. Let's turn off display capture. Oh, wait, there we go. It's back, I think. There we go. Game capture's back. So, yeah, my Streamlabs basically crashed. That's what the reasoning by this little sort of jump cut is. I think I've got it back. We've just scored an absolutely wonderful goal from Isaac as well. And I can't even remember what I was saying, but I think it was along the lines of that the bridge between teams was closing. But I feel like Barcelona are still very good. Chelsea, Man City, Real Madrid are all still very solid. Juventus are still a good side. They're not as good as they are in real life, but they're still one of the better sides. Man United are very strong. Ooh, wow. Vlasic has got the fourth. Yes, I feel like we haven't got to the point where it's stupid. Yeah, there's not any stupid major upsets. I just feel like a lot of the strong teams have really had good transfer philosophies, really. Chelsea brought in a lot of young players. Jadon Sancho, for example. I think they kept hold of Hudson-Odoi and some other young English prospects. They've obviously done well in Europe as far as the Europa League goes. Man City have been dominating the Champions League. They, of course, have, I guess, a more expensive transfer model, but evidently it's working. And Bayern Munich, haven't been the number one side in Germany every year. Dortmund have been competing with them, but you can still see that they're, 10 goals scored, 2 conceded. They're in a league of their own in this group. They are definitely ahead of us and Valencia, as we are getting absolutely thumped here, 4-1, which is not good. But there is the full-time whistle. I'm pretty sure it's going to ring any time now after this throwing or goal kick. So we have lost 3-1, unfortunately. I'm hoping, kind of self-conscious about my Streamlabs now. Hope it doesn't crash again. Unfortunately, that's an awful way to start the episode. I'm hoping in the league we do switch on a little bit more, but that could be down to fitness concerns. Correa, Valverde, Maras all struggling. So maybe that's the issue. Maybe it is the fact that we're playing so many games. If you look here at the schedule, there's, hardly any gaps really in the games. So I'm going to try and rest a few players actually in this Academica game, and I'm going to bring you guys Academica bit in the league. So let me go ahead there, hopefully sort out my Streamlabs in between. I'll catch you guys at next. We've made it to the game. It's been a bit hit or miss without referencing the TikTok Vine, or whatever you want to call it, the TikTok video. We drew 1-1 against Academica. I did rotate the squad, did rest a few players. So it's not the worst result. We went 1-0 down. It just means qualifying again. We have to probably field a strong lineup in the last game to make sure we go through. So it's maybe we shot ourselves in the foot and just maybe rested up players for a short-term solution. I mean, maybe I might just rotate the squad at Bayern and then try and have them fit for Valencia, because realistically Valencia may be the crunch game. But enough of that. We do have actually 2 games in hand now on Porto, which means if we get 6 points, we'll be on 24. So still only 1 point ahead of them. They're keeping up the pace. They are keeping up the pace. They're keeping up the pressure, and they're just going to probably ride it out with us, really. They have no European football. I don't know if I mentioned that on video, actually, but they actually did drop out due to financial reasonings. I don't know why they've dropped out. It must be like financial fair play. But looking at their, situation, I'm pretty sure they're classed as rich. Yeah, their finances are rich. I'm pretty sure turnover-wise, they weren't doing too badly, probably. Let's have a look. Can we look at that? World ranking, and then we'll just go to clubs, finances, turnover. Let's have a look here. I know Portugal don't get the most money at all. Benfica are here. 77 million. Oh, damn, maybe it is pretty peak. 47 million, we got 46. Maybe they are in a rough spot then. But they dropped out of the Champions League due to financial reasoning. It's actually crazy how much money some of the other clubs get compared to the Portuguese league. Like, we're really in a league of our own. Like, Germany have loads of clubs getting money. Spain have quite a few clubs getting money. I mean, really it's only the top 2 competing with the rest. Valencia sort of in the middle with Madrid. England dominate it. After a while, you'll see Blackburn will probably end up being like a top 10 side soon. So will West Ham, Everton. All the English sides will start rising up just due to the TV packages that they get. So that's often why English clubs do so well in Football Manager, because TV rights just give so much money. That's really what it is. So yeah, you're going to see like Blackburn will probably start being a bit of a global force in this save. Not global, but a bit of a force. They will definitely start getting some money and start doing well in like the Europa League soon. Volpe in goal for us. Ortega, Maras, Aidu, Aaron Buru, Valverde, Correa, Kamara, Brass, Tavares and Nelson. He's back into the side today. We have missed him. Stokovic in goal for them. Enrique Martins, Guano, Bernas, Ferreira, Mikel Thomason, Antonio Carlos, Pinto and Temenuzkov up front for them. But yeah, I mean, Blackburn have struggled in the Premier League as of late, but when they're getting 128 million a year turnover, sooner or later they're going to start doing something. You know, they've signed some pretty big players. They have some pretty big wage deals going on over there. Sooner or later, they're going to bridge some sort of gap. We've seen West Ham do it, and Blackburn got more money than West Ham. And you saw West Ham was sneaking into the Europa League spots in England last year. So you'll see teams like Everton as well. They'll just start picking up a lot of victories. They'll start getting some good players. Maybe not the world beaters, maybe not the best players in the game, but they're going to start pitching out and fielding out pretty solid squads full of, I don't want to say wannabes, maybe a lot of them waste it by signing washed up players on high salaries, but you know, West Ham have done some pretty good business. They've got some pretty good players, and it's just, they really are, like I said, in a league of their own, really. Like, we got a £47 million turnover, and Blackburn, who weren't even in the Europa League or weren't even in any form of European competition, have got like 3 times the amount of money we have. And we made it to the second, we were in the Champions League. Admittedly, we played Barcelona, remember, and Arsenal as well. We played pretty big games. We went to the Europa League where we played PSV, played Lyon. You know, we were doing pretty well. We are 1-0 up here, by the way. Correa, lovely touch, lovely second touch, and bang, top bins. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty silly, I think, when we're just not getting any money. Like, that's why it's good. If you're ever going to do a journeyman save and plan on going to England, you can't, like, it opens up a lot of doors of who you can go to later on. Like, if I was to push back this save for a few years, it could be a situation where I could go to Blackburn. You know, Blackburn, they had a legacy, obviously, back when, like, Shearer was playing for them. I think Chris Sutton, I think it was playing for them. They obviously won a few league titles back in the day. If I leave it a few years, let's say 5-6 years, they could be one of the better sides in England, and I could just go to Blackburn, which could make it quite interesting, actually. I might actually explore Blackburn as an option if they have got the money for it, as Nilton Tavares puts us 2-0 up. Maybe I won't go to Arsenal. Maybe I will try and do the obscure one and go to Blackburn first and see if I can do that. Because if they do have the money and I can buy some good players, why not, eh? But at the same time, it could be pretty tough, because how many players can I bring in to outscale things like teams like City, Chelsea, Arsenal themselves, United, Liverpool, Tottenham, West Ham? Can I outperform all those teams on a transferial basis and results basis? Probably not. So maybe it is Arsenal that I go to. Aaron Buru now. Correa, Aaron Buru. Oh, hops over the challenge there into Correa. Oh, hits the post. Nearly got his second of the game. Hits the post. And yeah, we still say second, of course, because Porto have played an extra game. But we are starting to say, as I've said, bridge a gap. You see here, Penafiel are third, and we're 4 points ahead of them with a gaming hand. Obviously, Guimaraes could overtake them, as can Rio Ave. But us and Porto are starting to bridge a gap, which isn't quite what I wanted, because I did want to leave everyone behind, but it turns it into a 2-horse race, and I don't really mind too much, because it's less competition. Admittedly, it means if we bottle it, the league is over and no one can really save us. But of course, it does bode well for us, at least moving forward. If we're here long term, we're here long term, right? And at least we'll be getting Champions League football, and hopefully a bit more money. Maybe on the Blackburn scale, that'd be pretty great. Brass bursts in. Oh my god, what a goal from him! Wow, Diogo Brass literally does not care, not a care in the world from that man. Tavares, look at this, on the ball, into Brass, bursts forward between about 4 players and leathers it into the bottom right. And at that point, I'm going to make a sub. I'm not gonna lie to you, boys. I've been recording these videos for literally like 5 hours. My throat is really sore. If I'm rambling, it's because I've literally in my brain run out of things to talk about. So that is, yeah, if I'm rambling, that is why. But we're 3-0 up today. It's not the worst episode in the world. Yeah, we got thumped, but at least we're thumping a team back. 5 goals conceded so far this season and 25 scored, which I think is pretty impressive. You know, 9 times 4 is 36. And we played 34 games in the season. So at this rate, would be just under 100 goals for the year. And if we concede around 20-ish, that's a goal difference of like almost 80 something. So we're on for a very good year if things stay like this. If we can stay performing like this. Benfica, I mean, they just haven't been able to squeeze out the results, really. They actually are having quite a good season. I mean, I guess they'd be on 20 points, right, if they played all their games, which means they'd only be 3 points behind Porto. So they look worse off than they are. The games in hand are very deceptive when you think about it. But Nelson now. Augusto Sergio. And again, I'm quite liking this cautious... Look at that. Look how far forward we are. We're playing cautiously and we're this far forward. It's weird. It's weird. I don't know. But 25 shots. They've had 0. This is what I mean about the cautious play style, though. We've locked them out. Obviously, against Bayern Munich, evidently it didn't work. We couldn't lock out Bayern Munich. Maybe I have to go defensive against them. I don't know. But it's worked today. 0 shots. In 90 minutes of football, Academica have had 0 shots. So it's clearly doing something. Like I said, that is the end of today's episode. Disappointing performance in the Champions League, but at least in the league we're doing what we need to do. At the end of the day, the target is the domestic campaign, so we can sort of sack off the Champions League. I'm not going to. I want to get through. I do want to have a deep run, but at the same time I feel like we're maybe a bit out of our depth in the Champions League, and maybe it's better to go to the Europa League and maybe have a deep run there. I'm not too sure. I'll try my best to get through, but it's not looking hopeful right now. If you did enjoy today's episode, please drop it a like down below. Subscribe if you'll stay updated with this journey. You know, at the moment we're kind of on course to ending it, well, this segment at the end of the season. You know, we've won 6 in a row now in the league. If we keep this up, I'm sure in no time we'll be confirmed champions and we have to find a new club. So if you want to stay updated, drop a like, hit the subscribe button, and as always, I'll catch you guys next time. See you later.